Welcome, hobbyists. ZiggyNo back with another video. And this one, we're going to touch on some of the best conversations slash interviews I saw in the last week. Today is December 19th. It is Monday, the date this will be posted. And my goal is to be posting up every Monday night, kind of a update, my thoughts and comments on some of the best interviews going on in the hobby. If you have an interview coming up, conversation with somebody in the industry, and would like for me to include it in next week's video, please leave a link below, information about the conversation, and I'll be sure to include that next week if I can. I really appreciate everybody who's subscribing, commenting, supporting the channel. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's. Got a really cool conversation with the brothers at Sports Card Radio to start off with. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Let's start over on Mike Summers' channel. If you haven't followed Mike Summers, I do recommend checking it out. Link will be below. He had a great hour-long conversation with Colin and Ryan from Sports Card Radio. He broke this up in two podcasts on his podcast, and I was able to catch the video, which was just released like a few days ago. Really enjoyed this, guys. A few things. I'm surprised this doesn't have more views. 213 people viewed this, and I'm the only one who's commented. Really great to get some insight on the brothers, kind of where they came from, what was their turning point, what they're doing, what their goals are in the hobby. I know several people have listened to this. I know Dustin did, because he mentioned one of their goals is the 100,000 subscribers in 2023. So I really like this conversation. Again, great to get some insight on these guys, where they're from. Also, I thought it was interesting that they chose Mike Summers to come in and do this interview with. So check that out if you haven't already. I do recommend it. Another great conversation in the industry was on the Mojo Media channel. I'm a big fan of the Mojo Breaks guys. They've been doing the hype for, gosh, years, which is pretty much was the original kind of hobby news channel back in the day. Anyway, great conversation here with Bob Means from eBay, talking about the eBay vault. Really good conversation. Talk about things in the future. Here's something that caught my interest was eBay rolled this whole thing out for sports cards. And do you know other collectible groups have already started asking about the vault, like art. I can imagine Funko Pops, collectibles. But it's interesting that they designed it specifically for that sports cards were the driver of this. That's kind of interesting to see how important this is to eBay and where that might take vaults and sports cards in the future. But really enjoyed this. Some other great conversations. The discussion around how would eBay support trading in the future, that did come up. So I do recommend taking a listen to this great conversation. Another really good conversation to listen to was Black Jaded Wolf. I believe it's Sharon and Matthew, Cage lawyer, on Black Jaded Wolf Uncaged. Really enjoy this. This is the 5th episode of this. I think they do this every other week. I love listening to these. I do enjoy both Cage and Black Jaded Wolf, their conversations, their insights, listen to them talk about the shows that they went to, the shows that are coming up, what they're seeing. I remember a few weeks ago listening to them talk about how repackers were not buying the same stuff. You know how much I love repackers. But also just getting some insights on Black Jaded Wolf on some of the shows she's been to, what her thoughts are, how she strategizes. Again, I can't stress how much I enjoyed this. My only quick comment on this, I think calling it, what's it called? Black Jaded Wolf Uncaged seems kind of counterintuitive because it's Cage with Black Jaded Wolf. So she'd be like, Black Jaded Wolf is caged by Cage lawyer. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. What do you guys think? But I do really love this conversation, these conversations. Hope they keep these up. Another great interview, guys. And I'll just point out, a lot of these aren't getting a lot of views. 66 views here on this one. This is a conversation with Warren. Warren is leading the VC at, I think it's Mint 10, but also is one of the investors in Arena League with Derek Jeter and the other group over there. And it was really great to kind of get his insights and hear from him what they're doing in Arena League, what their plans are, their slow and steady, their growth, their strategy. What I also thought was really interesting, this conversation starts off with Paul talking about the eBay vault, and then going conversation talking about Arena Vault. Another little great nugget of this, which I really appreciate, Warren. Thank you very much for taking the the L of the year, in my opinion. He talked about one of his biggest losses, which was he bought one of those Futura racing cards for a really lot of money, and he lost a lot of money. And I'll just leave it at that. But I really enjoyed him sharing that story, man, because I was like, man, now I know who it was that bought that. But Warren, I really appreciate what you're doing in the hobby and the VC stuff. So again, I love the conversation, love listening to it. I wish you in Arena League the best. Not on my radar at this point, I'll just say that, but I'm nothing against Arena. I don't like vaults right now. Another great conversation. Big fan of the cousins over here, and they had Victory Investments on. And I'll be honest, I hadn't really followed Victory Investments. I think I'd followed him in the past as far as the channel, but didn't know much about him. So it's really good to get this insight from the cousins, listen to him, talking about him. I like the cousins because they had me on their show. They have other people on the show, people I don't agree with, people I do agree with, but I really like listening to them. And again, definitely needs a little more sub love and some listens out here. So check this out. Great conversation. Do recommend listening to that. And again, these guys drop great content every week. A lot of these guys are weekly, so you'll probably see them again and again. But again, I'll kind of mix in more conversations as we go into 2023. Sports Card Live, always a great channel on Saturday Night Live. Dustin, Jeremy does a great job interviewing different people in the hobby. A lot of them have been business focused. This is Raymond Lee, and it's funny when I saw this name, I'm like, I know Raymond, and I looked up on LinkedIn. It wasn't through LinkedIn; it's actually through Facebook groups. We're in several Facebook groups together. He talks about some of the Facebook groups he was in. I think kind of talks about how it's kind of spawned his idea of this Veriswap solution to be able to swap cards, a trading platform. Again, not really what I'm into right now, but I really like listening about this and learning about it. I think it's interesting. Listening to Arena League is doing swapping trading, eBay's trying to swapping trading, and then Veriswap. And of course, all of them have to monetize on the trade. So it's interesting to get some insights on the different ways that these companies are doing this. Last quick conversation I'll bring to your attention. Really enjoyed this one. This was US Patriot Cards. It's the second week doing these kind of I believe it's the same guest, which is I can't remember the guy's name. High Grade Hits, right? Yeah, High Grade Hits. Really good conversation. They talk about football. They talk about some trades, talk about sports card stuff. Again, another great conversation. I'd bring your attention to if you haven't already. Go over, give them some sub loves, give them some views. And like I said, tell me what you think. What other conversations are you guys listening to out in the hobby? Again, if you have conversations coming up, interviews, please let me know. Love to listen to them, share notes, and let other people learn about that. So hope you enjoyed these conversations around the hobby and my comments and insights from ZiggyNo. Have a great day. Stay healthy.